scale, also unlimited. And the people being harmed by it are real. Age verification won't save us. Look at how well that's working for the existing industry. This is the moment to pay attention, not after it's everywhere. Now. Stay up to date with my free newsletter. Sign up now at getkim.com. Spring is here, and summer's coming faster than you think. And if you've been telling yourself you'll start next week, next month, it's time to stop waiting. Your metabolism does not fix itself, but you can support it. I worked with a team of experts to create Improve Life Metabolism, and I'm so proud of what we built. It's packed with clinically studied ingredients that work with your body to support energy, fat burning, and your metabolism the way it's supposed to work. No crash diets, no extreme workout plans you'll quit by April. Just real science-backed support your body can actually use every single day. Thousands of people are already seeing results. And the best part, it's in stock right now. No wait lists, no back orders. Go to improvelife.com/Kim and get up to 37% off, plus free shipping and a bonus gift. That's improvelife.com/Kim. Because summer bodies are made in March, not in June. Start today.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Venezuela, the best in baseball.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome into the Talkback here on your Wednesday morning. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. Man, what a crowd pop that was. The moment that Palencia struck out Roman Anthony to wrap up the 2026 World Baseball Classic. Venezuela gets the 3-2 win over the U.S. in the Maxwell household. Probably had a little joy last night.
Yeah, she was pretty excited. I mean, she's an American and she loves America, but it's like if you're an LSU fan and you move to, I don't know, Alabama, you're still going to root for the Louisiana team. So yeah, they were pretty excited. I think it meant a little bit more to Venezuela than America.
I definitely think so too.
And then this morning she shows me my phone. She goes, "Look at this." I was like, "What? What now?" And she's like, "Look what the president just posted. He posted statehood." So now they're referencing that Venezuela should become a state, and that'd be the most American thing ever. Is you have to beat us in baseball to become a state.
There you go.
So I guess Puerto Rico just has to beat us in baseball if they want a chance.
Yeah. So, Canada couldn't do it. So well, let's do it. Let's bring in Venezuela.
Might as well make it happen.
I'm for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Now you're right. I think it meant a lot to those players, and you could see the tears in their eyes after they won. Not that the Americans weren't very disappointed, because I noticed their players just kind of sat and watched the celebration. Bryce Harper did go on the field and shook hands and congratulated them. As far as I know, I think he was the only player that did that. I kind of thought the whole U.S. team should have done that. I think it would have been a cool gesture, but, it is what it is. So, but it was a good game, tight game, just kind of like the last few games of the WBC have been, where the tougher the competition got, the tighter the games got. U.S. was down 2-0 until the bottom of the 8th when Bryce Harper hit a 2-run homer to tie it, but then they couldn't hold things in the 9th. Another factor, too, is a lot of the players, at least the ones on Team USA for sure, and then several on on Venezuela, this is really still their spring training. So they're doing all this while gearing up for a 162-game season. So you had to be careful. The pitching had to be handled pretty delicately, for sure. So, a guy like Mason Miller, he's the star pitcher for the Padres, probably the top relief guy in baseball. Yeah, they didn't bring him in that 9th inning. That's probably why, because he pitched the other night. During the regular season, that would have been an automatic. So, but to take nothing away from Venezuela, and it's cool. It's the team that had the most Brewers on it. is Venezuela.
Well,
So
pretty cool.
Kind of happy for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good at baseball, and that's kind of their sport. And I was making jokes with my wife. I was like, there's no way we're going to let someone beat us in our own sport. And she's like, oh, it's ours now. Yeah, they're pretty good. Pretty salty team. Meant a lot to them, and it was in Miami. So, I mean, they pretty much had a home crowd at that point, I feel.
Did you guys get to watch when they sang the national anthem after the game?
No, we missed that part.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. After they got the medals and then they play their anthem. I mean, these guys, they weren't just singing. They were like screamingly singing, like the top of their lungs,
Yeah.
which I saw in the Daily Mail. They had a story kind of criticizing Team USA for not singing during the national anthem. A lot of players weren't singing. I'm thinking,
There's a ton of people who don't sing.
right.
Good Lord.
I noticed like every player had his hand on his heart, and it would look very respectful. So I felt like that was just trying to stir the pot a little.
You ain't going to sing.
I mean, I might,
Oh, okay.
but I don't sing every time the anthem plays. But a couple weeks ago, I was doing PA for LC softball, and we were supposed to do the anthem, and the young lady that was running the computer with the audio had an issue, and we couldn't get it to play. So I just started singing it a cappella over the PA
Oh,
mic.
gosh. I wish I was there.
But then I was like 2/3 finished, and then she started playing the music. So then I just kind of stopped, and then it started again. So hashtag awkward.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, you would have loved it.
Oh, man. But, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll sing during the anthem very quietly. But I like singing if no one's listening to me specifically sing,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to hear that. But,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty cool. Good for them. It was a fun game at the end there when Bryce Harper hit that 2-run home run.
Yeah.
And they came right back and had that run-scoring double, Venezuela. And that did it.
Yep. Like I said, that crowd pop when Anthony first struck out. I mean, here, let me cue that up again. Take a listen to this.
Venezuela, the best in baseball.
That was,
I mean, that's little Venezuela there.
yeah. Yeah.
Miami. I mean, my wife has a bunch of friends in Miami from Venezuela.
They said that
And they went to the
Miami
game.
area has like the largest population of Venezuelans.
I would have to say so.
Yeah.
Cubans, Venezuela.
Doesn't Venezuela mean Little Italy?
Little Venice.
Little Venice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, because I think whoever or one of the main people who discovered it, it reminded him of Venice.
Oh,
With the water and everything.
Okay.
So, yeah.
yeah. I've never been to Venezuela.
You never been?
No.
I didn't think so. So.
Sounds like a nice place. Like if we get rid of all the communism.
Well, if it becomes a state, I'd be visiting there all the time.
Yeah.
Buy a little house there and
Yeah,
do
you
all
wouldn't
the
even
work.
need a passport.
That'd be awesome. I wonder what would have to happen for that to happen.
I think you have to have
Congress
2/3 of Congress, and then the states ratify it, I believe.
Oh Lord, that'll be a fight.
Isn't everything these days?
So that'll never happen. Got it. Okay, so
Yeah, can you imagine a scenario in any time where 2/3 of the Senate will agree on something?
good luck.
Yeah, pretty much. Coming up at 7:30, Superintendent Jeff Powell will be here from the Rapides Parish School District. And so we'll talk with him about what's going on in the district. They had their committee meetings yesterday, so we may get an update on an issue or two with that. Stephen has a package of saltines over there.
Got to eat whatever you can find.
That's about as cheap a nutrition product as you can find. I don't know if nutrition's even the right word.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I got to eat what I can eat, I guess.
I just remember being when I was a kid, if you were sick, like your mom would give you like either Sprite or 7-Up and saltine crackers.
Well, they're light on the stomach, and my favorite sick food is Cheez-Its, but those aren't doing me too good lately.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not agreeing with you?
I'm like, if I want to get personal, I have such nasty acid reflux. Sometimes the only thing I can eat is saltines and smoothies.
Oh,
So
that
So it-
stinks.
settles down. So
Yeah, you've had
woe
that
is
issue
me.
for a long time.
I don't know what to do. I guess get a stomach transplant or something.
All right. I think we have a call coming in on the BUM Bank talk line. And let's go to that. Good morning. You're on Talkback. Or not. Okay. Well, here are the players singing the national anthem. Can't really hear them over the music, but if you see the video, they're just like, it's like, they're just loudly singing it. I don't know what else to say.
Very passionate people.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a huge deal for them, especially that it was America with everything going on. I'm sure it kind of meant a little bit more. Not that they're against what's going on, but it's just one of those things.
Hey, Eugenio Suarez is kind of the spiritual leader of that team. And I saw a clip they played of him praying for the team before the game. And then afterward also, he was pretty exuberant about his faith as well. So,
well, I was there praying after, and it was like going on and on. I was like, babe, I guess they're like praying the rosary or something, because it's going on. Good for them.
Here's what Suarez had to say.
For your country. I mean, what can I say about this? It's amazing. God is good. All the glory is for Lord Jesus. He was with us the whole time. We have to glorify, put his name in front of everything. And nobody believed in Venezuela, but now we win the championship today. And it's a celebration for all the Venezuelan country.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. I said Eugenio, and my wife's like, it's Eugenio. Or Eugenio.
Most of the announcers say a Eugenio.
I don't know. It could be that too. But I got the G in the...
Yeah.
Yeah. I got corrected.
You said Eugenio?
Yeah. I was like, oh, Eugenio, that's a cool name. She goes, it's Eugenio.
Eugenio.
So, I don't know. But yeah, he seemed like a cool dude. Who's he play for?
He's on the Reds now. Last year he was on the Diamondbacks. Then he got traded to Seattle late in the year and was part of their team that made it to the American League Championship Series. And then he was a free agent. Nobody really signed him or wanted him, it seemed like, but the Reds did, which is crazy because he had over 30 homers last year.
Dang.
I kind of wishing the Brewers had signed him because they don't really have a good third baseman this year. And he just seems like that emotional leader that would have been great for our team.
I like the Reds.
Yeah, the
I'd
Reds
love
are
to
going to
go
be
to
a
a
fun
Reds game.
Our former colleague and your buddy, Adam Burniston, used to do weather for KALB. He is now at WWLT TV in Cincinnati.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He loves the Reds.
And he's a huge Reds fan. So what a place for a kid who grew up in Kentucky, I think, right? And now he lives in Cincinnati. Do you ever stay in touch with him at all? Probably not. Huh?
No, I just see him on social media.
Okay. Never text him or anything?
No, not really. I'm not much of a, texter.
I've noticed.
Yeah, I know. I wonder, was he a Bengals fan? I feel like people don't even like the Bengals. Never heard him talk about it.
I don't remember the Bengals, but he definitely loved the Reds.
The Great American Ballpark.
Yeah.
I'd love to go. We saw the outside of it a couple years ago.
The Reds were my favorite National League team when I was a kid. Those were the days of the big red machine with Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Ken Griffey Sr. Like in 1976, the All-Star team, the starting lineup was 7 of the 9 were Reds. Such a good team. Such a fun team. And
no, go ahead.
And I was going to say, so that was kind of always my sentimental National League team.
I thought Cincinnati was a cool little city when we went a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice.
The Queen City? Is that what's the
I
name?
think so, yeah. Cincinnati, pretty much right by Kentucky.
If you worked at a radio station in Cincinnati, which one would you want to work at?
As long as they keep doing the turkey drop. WKRP.
I'm living on the air in Cincinnati.
I should probably rewatch
Cincinnati,
that show.
WKRP.
That'd be a fun rewatch.
It's
I might
such a
start
great
that.
show.
That is.
There you go.
I love sitcoms.
Yep.
So they always make me happy, and that's one of the best
The
ones.
question growing up was always Bailey or Jennifer?
That was your question.
Oh, you already had had the answer.
No, I don't.
It was that or Ginger or Marianne.
Okay. I have a wonderful wife from Venezuela who would. That's all I care about.
Well, those were single days.
That's right. Back in your old days.
Right. I think if you kind of liked Marianne, you probably liked Bailey. Kind of the all-American girl types.
I gotcha.
Yeah. things we did back in the 70s because we didn't have a whole lot to do. We would have those debates. All right, we need to take a break, and Superintendent Powell will join us.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. It's been a volatile stretch for stocks as Wall Street tries to wrap its head around the war in Iran. Surging oil prices are raising the chances of an economic slowdown or even a recession. However, stocks are looking at a third day of gains today. This afternoon, the Federal Reserve is widely expected to hold the line on interest rates when they wrap up their 2-day meeting. Meantime, mortgage rates have jumped to the highest level of the year. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, the rate on a 30-year loan is at 6.30%. The increase in home financing costs coincide with a sharp rise in 10-year Treasury yields. And many shoppers have been facing economic stress. Food giant General Mills reported quarterly earnings results that missed Wall Street expectations. This highlights the challenge facing the maker of Cheerios and its rivals in persuading consumers to buy packaged food when demand has jumped for fresher options. Some food companies have been lowering their prices to boost demand. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It's time to spring into reading. The Rapides Parish Library Easter Basket Read-Off hops back March 1st through April 1st. Log your reading in Beanstack for a chance to win an extra special Easter basket packed with goodies. The more you read, the more chances you have to win. 4 winners at every branch, ages 0 to 5, 6 to 12, teens, and adults. So grab a book and read your way to a hoppy spring surprise. Visit RPL for details.
Well, good morning. We'll start out our Wednesday with mostly cloudy skies, but we'll see gradual clearing during the afternoon. 71 should do it for the afternoon high. Tonight, clear, nowhere near as cold as it has been the last couple. 46 for the overnight low. Our Thursday, a sunny day as we get close to that 80-degree mark. And this beautiful weather, I got to tell you, is going to stay with us now well into next week. From the Sedlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
All right, we are back here on this Wednesday morning. Al Quartermont, Stephen Maxwell with you. So glad you could be with us as well. Joining us on the show this morning is the superintendent of Rapides Parish Schools, and that is Jeff Powell. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, Al. Good morning. Good to be on with you guys, Stephen. Good to see you this morning.
Morning.
We won't pose our question to you that we just had in the last thing.
I was listening in the car. The one thing I will say is I didn't know you could sing the national anthem. So next year at the elementary fitness meet, maybe we could invite Al. That's a special.
If you're really desperate, maybe.
I would definitely show up for that.
It's either me or Octavia. That's your choice.
We'll make it an event for sure.
All right. So yesterday you had the school board committee meetings, and I know that there was a motion yesterday that was made to potentially audit school libraries for inappropriate materials. And that did pass last night. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, last night was committee. So, things go to the full board for actual approval. Mm-hmm. But Mr. Berry also made a motion just out of concern to make sure that particularly our elementary students he talked about in our elementary schools, make sure that there's not any material that would be deemed inappropriate for elementary students. So he really didn't go into detail about, how we would define inappropriate or even what an audit would look like other than, take a sampling every now and then just to make sure that we're not using things that or giving students access to things that just don't promote the values of our community.
So does that not happen now, or how does it happen?
Well, right now, your gatekeepers of the books in the library are your librarians.
Sure.
And so a lot of the books in our libraries have been there for, years, some maybe even decades. Mm-hmm. And then they get really a small allocation every year, financial allocation to update books and things like that. But with the emphasis on literacy, there's a lot of online opportunities for students to read. But they have tablets and they have things like that. So, it is kind of one of those things that, whether they go to the public library, they look online and view things that way, there's tons of access. But I think the opportunity to just review what's in our libraries is really the heart of what Mr. Berrios was asking.
Was there something that sparked it for him, or just
not that
stuff
I'm aware
in the news
of.
across the country? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Gotcha.
Not that he shared with me anyway.
Right. I mean, I know we've heard a lot about books in libraries in recent years, especially more like public libraries and that sort of thing, even things that are getting into the kids section. But I would think librarians in this school district probably would understand what people probably would want or not want.
Yeah. I was at a public event, I will say, my son's basketball game a few weeks ago, and a parent or grandparent approached me about a book that their child had read, and as it turned out, it was something that the child had found online, read, but there wasn't a quote-unquote AR test for it, which we do promote AR.
Accelerated reading.
That's right, accelerated reading. It's just one of those ways we track and monitor whether or not students are actually reading, but it was not a book that they had found in our libraries. It was not, so it's kind of one of those deals where, there needs to be some monitoring on all ends. It's obviously we can audit what's in our libraries, but as a parent, we guard what our children read too. My wife proofs a lot of books before our children read them. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, interesting topic.
Yeah.
Also, yesterday, a couple of other motions were discussed. One to reemphasize one of the 2 days in February observed as an off day to be for President's Day.
Yeah, again, Mr. Berrios is very patriotic, former social studies teacher, and he's not wrong in that, right? So we and this year it fell, our Mardi Gras break fell at the same time as President's Day. And so on our district calendar, it literally says President's Day and Mardi Gras. But he would definitely like to see us emphasize, hey, this is for President. Let's celebrate President's Day and honor that in a way that people understand that we're studying our heritage and know what that really means. And so, things like that. And also an emphasis on, this year being the 250th birthday of our nation, we want to talk about. So, all of it, just good patriotic stuff,
Yeah, I saw there was another motion there that would require all the schools to commemorate that 250th, perhaps a week at the end of this school year or at the start of next year.
Yeah, I think they're settling on maybe the start of next year. So maybe by the end of September, we'll just have a week where we encourage our schools to do something big for commemorating the 250th. But it's kind of weird, because technically it's July 4th, and you're going to see all kinds of things.
Right.
But our schools, as I told the committees last night, and Mr. Berrios said, our schools have been sent information. I mean, we're participating in a lot of things that the state and the national folks are putting out there. Reshared this morning. There's an art contest that the winners actually get to go visit Washington, D.C. I think they're going to try to get some winners from each state. And, I obviously would love for some Rapides Parish students to be represented. We have some tremendously talented students. We've won things like that before. So,
well, I've said on this show over the last few weeks, when I was a kid, the 200th was a huge deal.
Right.
I mean, all year round, we had all kinds of, and here we are 50 years later, it seems like it's not as much emphasis.
Yeah, it's, I think, and look, I don't nearly want to get into everybody's politics and everything, but, there seems to be so many people that would rather divide us than unite us. And this is one of those things that you would think more and more people would just unite around. I mean, regardless of what you think about politics or regardless what you think about this or that, we still live in the greatest country on this planet. And the fact that we were blessed enough to be born here and have the opportunities that we have. And I know everybody's situation is not the same. My situation is not the same as yours, Al, or yours, Stephen. But we're blessed to have been born in this country and have had the opportunities that we do have. And so at least for a few moments, it would be nice if everybody could just rally around the fact that we are one nation under God, united we stand.
Wouldn't think it would be that controversial.
You wouldn't think. You wouldn't think.
But alas, as they say.
That's right.
All right, we'll take a quick break. More with Superintendent Jeff Powell after this.
KSYL.
It's springtime in Cenla and time to explore. Feeling adventurous? Go biking or hiking in the National Forest, or camping at the mini recreation areas that offer canoeing, kayaking, boating, and fishing. Fun for the whole family. Check out the animals at the zoo, on a petting farm, or at a drive-through safari. Love golf? Then hit the links. And for those with a taste for freshness, don't miss our farmers market. Visit explorelouisiana.com to plan your trip today. Want more ideas? Go to alexandriapinevillela.com.
If you've ever wanted to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself, and didn't know where to start, Janney King Gulf Coast has already built the foundation for you. With guaranteed initial customers, hands-on training, and ongoing local support, you'll never feel like you're doing it alone, because you won't be. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn their dreams into real successful businesses. Take the next step. Discover a business built for you at JaneyKingCleans.com.
Janney King, the king of clean.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, we're back with Superintendent Jeff Powell from Rapides Parish School District. Definitely need to give a shout out to the Peabody War Horses winning another state championship. I mean, Coach Smith doing it with a very young team this year too.
Yeah, man. I was actually trying to explain it to my own kids how big of a deal it is. Phoenix, my 10-year-old, came with me as we welcomed the team back to Peabody Saturday evening, and just the realization that how many coaches coach their entire career and never even get to play in a championship game. Yeah. And Charles Smith has won 11 state championships.
Yeah.
And look, it's a testament to the athletes that he's had. It's a testament to the way he brings talent together. But, the reality is it takes great leadership for things like that. Mm-hmm. And Charles Smith is just, his character, the way he leads, and he's an outstanding math teacher as well. He still teaches math. Coaches, has a CDL. He's just a
proficient buster.
Oh my goodness, he is a prince of a man, and it could not have happened to a better team. What those folks are doing over there at Peabody Magnet High School is very special.
Yeah, I was hoping Ash might bring one home too. I know it was disappointing for them to get to the semifinals and lose a tough game.
Yeah, we actually had multiple teams in the community this year. Kind of go far. Plainview boys went to the semis. Buckeye girls went to the semis, and then of course Ash had to beat Tioga boys to get to the semis. So that was a really, really good game as well. So yeah, I know people don't like to think about Central Louisiana as like an athletic powerhouse, but when you really think about it, we had this meeting with our athletic directors a few years ago. That when you go across the board, but obviously we have 11 high schools, so the odds are in our favor at some point. Mm-hmm. But we've won championships in softball, we've won championships in baseball, we win them in basketball. It's across the board. We got to get that drought of football down, and I think that's what so many people think about. But look, Ash has been there 2 of the last 5 years, or they've played for the state championship. So we're going to cross that hurdle sometime in the near future, but. I tell you, our coaches work so hard. Many of them are classroom teachers as well, and to be able to provide these opportunities for our young men and our young women, they're learning so many things in the athletic realm as well as the academic realm. So super proud of what Peabody's able to do this year, and now we're looking forward to what's going to happen with baseball and softball.
Yeah, Stephen.
And track. I don't want to get in trouble for not saying track. It's track season as well.
I was going to say, Stephen, some of those coaches even teach math.
Well, I was talking to him, Coach Smith, the other day, and he was like, I had to interrupt his class for the interview, sorry. And he's like, I was like, oh, what do you teach? And I was assuming like history or something. Not trying to be mean, but... And he's like, oh, I teach advanced math. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I like it more than coaching, honestly. I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
As I said, a prince of a man.
Yeah.
So is Phoenix your best hope to become a basketball player?
So Al knows my kids. So Phoenix is very athletic. We played upwards this past year through Philadelphia. Through Pineville First Baptist and Trinity out there. Had a great time. I think it's his 3rd year to play. And yeah, he seems to enjoy it. He's very athletic. His dad doesn't spend enough time with him to really get out there and become as good as he can be. But I think that that's happening. He's practicing a lot more on his own and doing some things. So yeah, he loves it. He loves anything athletic. He's also into flag football, heavy.
Really?
So
all right.
we have a little group through church that he plays. He kind of leads his little age group in a flag football group, and so we do that on Monday evenings as well. So
that's cool.
He's an athlete.
Well, good. I know yesterday you had a few members of the Bessie board that were visiting the school district. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we actually had a great time. A couple of Bessie board members had reached out to me while I was at some meetings down in Baton Rouge. Really wanted to come up and see some of the things going on in Rapides Parish as we continue to make strides and everything from early childhood learning to literacy to the proficiency growth that we've seen over the last couple of years. And so we had the Bessie board president, current Bessie board president, Ms. Simone Champagne. It's really Champagne, I think, is how they really say it. Anyway, her as well as Miss Sandy Holloway, who represents the large portion of the southern part of the state. And of course, our local Bessie board member, Mr. Lance Harris, who's super supportive of all the hard work and, really commends our folks for the work that they're doing. So they got to go see, I really wanted them to see some of the things that the state has invested in over the last couple of years, like high-dose tutoring and stuff like that, some of the ELL programming, but we were also trying to be cognizant of their time and having to get back to Baton Rouge. So we kind of, we started at Bolton Academy, let them kind of see the transition there. Of course, Lance has, a lot of knowledge about the history there, and so I got to see the transition at Bolton Academy, how that's going, and then we went out to Caroline Dorman, again, one of our highest performing schools in the district. They got to see how high-dose tutoring is working there. And then we went out to Glenmora High School, who, they have a high English language learner population, so they got to see some of that. But also we kind of showed off some of the career tech ed programming. Glenmora is one of the schools that has the auto mechanic shop, so got to engage with some students there. And they got to engage a little bit with our student advisory board that I meet with to kind of hear from them, so different things going on in the parish.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of eyes will be on what's going on down in Baton Rouge in the next few weeks. Are there any major education issues that you're watching?
Yeah, I mean, we're as part of the Superintendent's Association, we get a list of all the bills, particularly those that are have a potential to impact teaching and learning. And there's a good many bills out there, but none of them are, appear to be frightening for the work that we're doing. I think mostly we're interested to see how the budget actually falls. We've got the big amendments coming up at the May election. And so, we shared a letter with all of our employees last week from the governor, signed by Dr. Brumley, as well as some other leadership from the state, promoting the amendments that will pay down teacher debt, which, again, we don't tell anybody how to vote, but we definitely know that if that amendment is passed, the state will be able to pay a tremendous amount towards the teacher retirement debt that will allow for permanent pay raises across the board. So a vote yes allows for that, a vote no does not. And so that we'll stop doing the stipends if it passes, and there'll be a permanent pay raise of $2,250 for certificated employees, $1,125 for non-certificated.
That's something that you in the past have talked about. If they could pay down that debt, then school districts themselves could afford to give teachers those raises.
Yeah, the everything funding wise for education is really a local issue. The state gives us our allocation based on our enrollment, but the sad reality is because of the ballooned teacher retirement debt that none of us created, right? It's just kind of one of those things that while we didn't create it, we're the ones having to pay for it. Right now, over 20% for every employee for a school system in the state of Louisiana, we have to pay back to the state over 20.6% this year, 20.6% of their salary back to the state. And so when the state pays this debt down, that's money that we get to keep locally that then turn around. So really the way the state did this is they're saying, hey, we're going to pay the debt down if y'all pass this constitutional amendment, but then we're going to require that the savings you have locally from not having to pay this debt, you have to give that back to the employees, which, interesting that we have to make the law say that because that should be the natural inclination.
Right.
But that's, that's just the reality of it. And when we pay this down, that number should go into subsequent years that we're paying 20.6, 20.7% now, should go down to somewhere around 15.5%, which will be a tremendous savings over the course of time.
Yeah.
And of course, as we, watch and pay attention to all of the news about potential business and industry coming to our area. That's going to help improve our situation that with funding that could potentially involve more pay increases. So.
Yeah. The language on that amendment that you'll be seeing when you go to the polls in May. Do you support an amendment to fund a $2,250 teacher pay raise, $1,125 support staff pay raise by utilizing the remaining savings from paying down the debt of the teachers' retirement system of Louisiana with monies from certain constitutional funds? I mean, the way it's even worded feels like a no-brainer, but you just never know how people are going to vote.
Well, the question I hear, like even from educators, okay, what funds are they really talking about? What are those constitutional funds that they're talking? And it's really two funding sources. The biggest funding source is y'all will remember years ago the big tobacco settlement money, right? That states receive. So that's called EEF funds, and we get about $500,000 a year as a drawdown from those funds. We use it well. We'll have to figure out what to do, if we want to continue some of the programs that those pay for. But as I've told people in the past, I will gladly trade a $5 million, payout. Basically, is what it means for us to give that many people that big of a raise for $500,000 any day of the week, right? I mean, that's so whatever we're paying for with the EF funds right now, I can assure you we can figure out ways to either continue doing what we were doing or decide that we don't need to do that anymore for the benefit of our employees. And the other one is a 8G. It's a block grant that we get. It's less than $100,000 a year on it. We do use that to fund a couple pre-K classrooms, but I've already been assured by Ms. Rushing that even if we lose those fundings, we'll still be able to fund. We won't be decreasing pre-K classrooms because we don't have those funds.
Sure. All right. Coming up in April, I know that you have a free school bus driver certification class. Looking for more bus drivers, and some of those would be full-time positions. So, and not bad when you're looking at how many hours per day.
Yeah. One of the things we run, we try to recruit all year round. We offer these classes. It's because you do have to have a CDL. You do have to have the passenger endorsement for that. So you have to have the training. We provide that training for you. It's free. We'll pay for pretty much everything it takes on a reimbursement basis as long as you come to work for us. Our bus operators, people look at that salary. It's just slightly over $20,000 a year. And they're like, well, that's not, Well, remember, bus operators are paid as basically a part-time job. It's a 4-hour-a-day job, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. And when you do it out hourly, it's about almost $30 an hour, for a part-time job. We have about 230 bus operators that are full-time employees. And of course, we always need substitutes. And so, we'll again help get you through the class so that you can sign up to be a substitute. And then, we have lots of folks that, they do this part-time while they do, other jobs, construction jobs or something like that during the day. Or we have retirees that, when they finish, kind of come back. It's a, good way to keep getting a salary. Plus the benefits are there. It's retirement, state retirement, health insurance, all these things. So definitely want to encourage anybody who's looking for something extra to do to earn a little extra money. It's a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, just that healthcare alone is pretty huge.
Yeah,
a part-time job. Not bad.
For
Not
sure.
bad.
Yeah, it's a part-time job with full-time benefits, honestly.
Yeah. So they're having this, folks, if you're interested, the certification class April 6th through the 10th. It'll be in the evenings, 3 to 9 p.m. each of those days, located at the RAPS campus, 2121 Mason Street here in Alexandria. So pretty cool. All right. Well, Jeff, it's always good to catch up with you. Any last words before we let you go here?
No, parents, just remember, we're getting really close to testing season. I know everybody's got their mind on Easter break, and that's coming up. But right after we come back from that, it's that time of year that we all love or love to hate, but it's state testing time. Thank you for all the hard work supporting our teachers and our administrators, but we know our children, our students are going to do well.
All right. Superintendent Jeff Powell, our guest here on Talkback. Good to see you again.
You too.
More coming up.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
I'm Blake Miguez, and I approve this message. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm Blake Miguez. I'm a 7th-generation Louisianian. My family has been part of this state for centuries, built businesses, raised families, and lived by the values that make Louisiana, Louisiana. Conservative groups rated me the most conservative candidate in Louisiana's 5th congressional race. And President Trump gave my campaign his complete and total endorsement, calling me a MAGA warrior. Because when he needs someone in Washington who will fight hard, he knows he can count on me. President Trump has counted on me. Louisiana has counted on me. I won't let either one down. I'm Blake Miguez, Trump's MAGA warrior. I'm ready for this fight, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Miguez for Louisiana.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, inviting you to help keep Louisiana beautiful. Love the Boot Week, Louisiana's largest cleanup effort, is back April 18th to the 26th. This year, for America's 250th birthday, we're challenging volunteers to pick up 250 pieces of litter in their community. We've made real progress, but there's more work to do. Get a group together and register. For more information, visit lovetheboot.org.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Join us Wednesday night as the Pelicans play host to the Clippers. Airtime 6:30 on 94.7 ESPN.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're almost out of time for this hour, so hashtag awkward. As this is
That's the
awkward.
second hashtag you said today.
This is Awkward Moments Day.
Well, it's not our fault.
I've never had any awkward moments.
Me neither. Because you're a MAGA warrior.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Should I do the pledge?
You should close it out with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please.
Okay. We're back. Coming up after the top.
The anthem.
There you go. Oh, say, can you see?
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Israel's defense minister says the IDF has killed another top Iranian official. Intelligence Minister Esmail Khatib becomes the third in 2 days, with the war raging in its 19th day. The BBC's Frank Gardner.
They've obviously got a kind of death list that they want to work their way through to eliminate the people who Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu referred to in his video recently as the chieftains of terror.
Iran launched strikes toward Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. Israel says an elderly couple was killed near Tel Aviv. Security lines are getting so long, there's talk of potential closures at U.S. airports hit hard by TSA sickouts. Officers have been going without pay during the partial government shutdown. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve is at Phoenix Sky Harbor.
Several airports have been particularly hard hit here. We're talking about 40% of officers have called out sick at the New Orleans airport and the Atlanta airport on Monday. Right now in Atlanta, wait times are over an hour. At Houston Hobby, roughly 35% of officers called out sick on Monday. At New York's JFK, about 30%.
A heat wave in Southern California is breaking records when it hit 98 in downtown LA yesterday. Elementary school teacher Carla Preciado and her students were on a field trip, seeing a performance inside the Disney Concert Hall.
So unfortunately at our school, the AC isn't always working, and it so happens that on the hottest days, it tends to break down. So today is actually a nice break to come enjoy some of the fresh air and then go get some free AC.
An extreme heat warning is in effect for LA until Friday. The late labor leader Cesar Chavez is being accused of sexual abuse.
We had a number of men jailed and beaten, and
The United Farm Workers Union, which Chavez co-founded, says there are allegations he abused young women or minors. The UFW says it never received any direct reports of what it calls the crushing accusations. Political consultant Mike Madrid is an expert on Latino voting trends.
There's shock and there's surprise, and there's a lot of people holding their breath, waiting to see what the allegations are.
Cesar Chavez Day is March 31st. The UFW announced it will not take part in any of the activities. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Yet more findings on why you should stay away from packaged processed foods. CBS's Michael George.
People who eat large amounts of ultra-processed foods are 67% more likely to have a major cardiac event. That's according to a University of Texas study that found the more people eat these foods, the higher their risk of heart attacks, strokes, and death from heart disease.
This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Scottish lawmakers have voted down a bill that would have legalized assisted dying, and they're getting praise for how they did it.
The defeat of the legalized suicide bill came after an emotional debate, with lawmakers allowed to vote their conscience and speaking from the heart, often speaking from their own personal experience.
I think we saw the Scottish Parliament at its very best last night.
Lawmaker Alex Cole-Hamilton.
Across all sides of the chamber, there was a quiet respect for every speaker. And it brought out the best, I think, in Scottish politics.
A defeat for a bill, then, but a decisive victory for deliberative democracy and civil discourse. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
The creators of a fashion magazine for dogs and the people who love them say Vogue is barking up the wrong tree. Condé Nast is suing the creator of Dogue, a small canine magazine that borrows its font style and design from the legendary fashion leader. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. Higher Education Commissioner Kim Hunter-Reid tells lawmakers that state funding for universities and colleges is not where it needs to be. She's calling on legislators to provide at least an additional $119 million in state funding for higher ed.
We have to make sure that campuses are aggressive in overseeing their finances. Management boards are aggressive in oversight, but not going to sugarcoat it. We definitely have some institutions that are challenged.
Secretary of State Nancy Landry is urging voters to check their party affiliation because in the upcoming May 16th primary, you will only be allowed to vote on your registered party's ballot. If you're registered with no party affiliation, Landry says,
if you're a no party voter, when you go to vote, the commissioner will ask you which ballot you want. Do you want the Republican ballot, the Democratic ballot, or the no party ballot?
The deadline to register for the May 16th primary is April 15th in person or mail and April 25th online. LRN. Apparently, doctors have it good in Louisiana.
Wallet Hub ranks Louisiana as the third best state for doctors. Analyst Chip Lupo says the states were ranked on 19 metrics, including
average annual wage of physicians, number of hospitals per capita, quality of public hospital systems.
Lupo says Louisiana ranked 10th in average salaries for doctors, with that ranking bolstered by specialists.
These are for specialties such as obstetricians, gynecologists, surgeons, pediatricians.
Lupo says Louisiana's low cost of living also makes the state a great place for a young doctor saddled with tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. I'm Andrew Greenstein.
In the UL Systems lawsuit against Conference USA, tomorrow's hearing in Lincoln Parish is canceled after Conference USA filed a motion to move the case to federal court. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of Louisiana Tech in its quest to leave Conference USA for the Sun Belt for the 2026 season. Matt Bellinson with the Ruston Daily Leader.
No matter what court hears it, that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, there is no legal precedent that can force us to play in this league.
LRN.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Well, good morning. We'll start out our Wednesday with mostly cloudy skies, but we'll see gradual clearing during the afternoon. 71 should do it for the afternoon high. Tonight, clear, nowhere near as cold as it has been the last couple. 46 for the overnight low. Our Thursday, a sunny day as we get close to that 80-degree mark. And this beautiful weather, I got to tell you, is going to stay with us now well into next week. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Precious memories. We had our first little concert with Sophia yesterday at her school.
Yeah.
Church school.
Stephen posted the video of it to his Facebook page, Stephen Maxwell TV, if you want to see all the cuteness on display.
Well, you never know. And they did like 7 songs.
Yeah.
And you never know how 2-year-olds are going to handle being on a stage.
Yeah.
And so we kind of hid in the back so she wouldn't see us just in case. She was wanting to leave and get down and come. And she just went all out. She was like the most animated of the bunch, really.
Wait, hasn't she turned 3 already?
Well, yeah, it's a 2-year-old class. She just turned 3. Just turned 3. You never know how they'll react.
Yeah.
She loved it. Most of them did really well. They stood up there.
The kid behind her looks like he's wearing like a homemade Mamu Mardi Gras.
He was, yeah. The theme was Louisiana. You had to wear something Louisiana or LSU or something. And so we didn't have anything LSU for her. So we just put her in a little purple dress and put some cowboy boots on her.
Oh.
And she had a good old time.
She liked the cowboy boots?
She did, yeah. They're like, what's that Disney cartoon Spirit the horse?
Yeah.
Like Spirit boots. I don't even know why we have them.
Wow.
It's like a 20-year-old cartoon, but probably someone gave it to us. And she had a fun time.
That's so cool.
She loved it.
Oh.
Music's kind of her favorite thing, so.
Yeah. Good deal. All right, welcome back, everyone, for hour number 2 of Talkback here on KSYL. I'm Al Quartermont, along with Stephen Maxwell. Our number on the BOM Bank Talk line is 318-442-8255. All right, things are getting interesting, even more so, in the race for the U.S. Senate. 3-way race for the Republican primary. with the incumbent Bill Cassidy being challenged by Congresswoman Julia Letlow of the 5th District and current State Treasurer John Fleming. Now, one of the big issues so far in this race has been carbon capture and sequestration. As you know, Fleming has been very vocally opposed to that, and Governor Landry seems pretty clear that he wants to see CCS come to the state. And he took to his social media page yesterday, the Jeff Landry page, to post this regarding State Treasurer Fleming and his opposition to carbon capture. Take a listen.
Projects in Louisiana. John Fleming is telling people he's against carbon capture projects in Louisiana. That's interesting. As a congressman, he voted over 6 different times to fund and expand CCS projects. He knew exactly what he was doing. He even authored an amendment to a bill supporting the industry. Now he's flip-flopping, telling voters he opposes these projects and teaming up with never-Trumpers funded by the likes of George Soros, Mike Bloomberg, and the Environmental Defense Fund, who are trying to kill these projects in Louisiana. Haven't we had enough of politicians that will say anything to get your support? Don't trust John Fleming. One day he'll be for President Trump. The next day he'll be against him.
All right. So that's what Jeff Landry said. John Fleming took to Facebook to post a response to that, which he basically said, Jeff Landry, you are a liar. I never voted or supported any such amendment or bill to bring CCS to Louisiana. The Save My Louisiana people will tell you straight up that neither Soros nor anybody else from the left have funded the movement to stop you from destroying this beautiful land using carbon capture and sequestration.
Yeah, I was I don't know if shocked is the right word, but I was surprised to see the video the governor posted. Just kind of coming out against him there. Of course, we know Letlow is his guy or is his girl there and his candidate. But yeah, we're getting close to it. I guess that means a little bit of arguing going on. The one weird thing about this whole thing, and you're probably gonna disagree with me, is like the whole campaign and most of the ads are just based on how much they love Trump. Like that's just such a weird political move for me. I think in America, it's very un-American to me.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is capitalize on President Trump's huge popularity here in Louisiana.
No, I know. It's just
Stephen,
I don't know. It doesn't seem very conservative.
I'm the only MAGA talk show host, so.
Yeah, that's right. You're a MAGA warrior. You can translate.
No, some of the ads are just cringy.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance. That's like, come on.
I'm not trying to make fun of it. It's just, to me, that's just.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's hard to tell where this race is going to go, honestly. It feels like it's going to be between Letlow and Fleming, especially after Gumbogate. I don't know how you're going to recover from Gumbogate. Did you see Gumbogate?
Oh, you were talking about where Bill Cassidy put what did he put in his gumbo?
Collard greens in his gumbo with tomatoes, which I'm sure is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, but it caused like a whole stir. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But that's the way it feels like it's going. Maybe the money with Cassidy can put him into the runoff, but we shall see.
Yeah. Gumbogate. Wow.
I was like, why? I even saw it before it became like controversial. I was like, ooh. All them south the I-10ers are going to be a little upset about that one. So.
Now, I did click on the post that Jeff Landry made. Right now, it's got 710 comments, and I would say the majority of them are pro-Fleming on this. So I don't know if the governor is accomplishing what he thinks he's accomplishing with this, but I remember last year there was one of the things that maybe was being voted on, all the insurance stuff. He likes to bring out like documents and records, but you always, at least for me, I'm always like, is that in the right context? You know what I mean? Like you can use numbers to support yourself kind of the way a drunk man uses a light post. Is it for support or is it for illumination? Right? So, but it does not seem to be having the effect that he wanted. People do know that, or seems like it's pretty common knowledge that Letlow is in support of CCS, and seems like Cassidy is as well. So we're seeing some real mudslinging starting in this race. Cassidy against Fleming. Cassidy against Letlow, and now Landry against Fleming. So that would seem to indicate that Fleming is doing well in the polling if the governor is coming out and making these kinds of assertions about him.
It's hard to know because a lot of this is over carbon capture, sequestration. But what does Lafayette think about that?
Right.
What does Baton Rouge and New Orleans and Shreveport think about that?
Right.
Because, we're a very small slice of the pie for Louisiana. I can tell you what we think here.
Brendan Dubrock also responded on the governor's post, and he said, "Why not have your team explain the bills to you, Governor? The establishment knows Congresswoman Letlow is imploding over her ongoing support for the CCS scam, and she knows John Fleming is surging. So what does the Judas Landry / Letlow machine do? Start lying about John Fleming? Before getting into the meat, it's worth asking if they were seriously concerned about Fleming's pro-CCS. Why did they concoct a scheme to get him out of the race by offering him a powerful high-level job? They're attacking him for one reason. He is the only America First candidate with the courage to stop the CCS boondoggle by which they are being enriched. The bills they cite, H.R. 2354, 5325, and 3547, were massive multi-billion-dollar energy and water appropriations bills. These funded the entire U.S. Department of Energy, the Army Corps of Engineers, and critical nuclear security programs, and the other founding members of the House Freedom Caucus voted for them, including Ron DeSantis, who has made CCS dead on arrival in Florida. To claim Fleming is pro-CCS because he supported these budget bills is like saying a representative voted for a pay raise because they voted for the military's annual budget. He voted to keep the lights on and the nation safe, not to allow private companies to seize Louisiana land for CO2 injection. Even within those very bills, Fleming was actively fighting back. In 2014, he successfully passed an amendment to block federal funds from paying the salaries of officers carrying out parts of the Hoover Power Plant Act, a move that cut wasteful spending and limited executive overreach. The large-scale permanent CO2 sequestration projects he's currently fighting to defund did not exist. During the same period, Fleming maintained one of the highest conservative voting records in Congress. The CCS projects causing fierce opposition today are driven by the 45Q tax credits, which were massively expanded long after Fleming left the House in 2017. While the tax credit existed in a limited form for enhanced oil recovery, it was not the multi-billion-dollar Green New Deal subsidy it is today. That simply did not exist when Fleming was in Congress. Fleming is the only candidate who has openly exposed CCS as crony capitalism, where private companies use eminent domain to seize private property funded by tax credits Fleming has pledged to fully repeal if elected to the Senate. None of this was an issue when Fleming was in Congress, nor were the dangers to our water aquifers posed by massive CO2 injection. Fleming's position is consistent with and the only voice for the 70 to 90% of Louisiana voters who reject CCS. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's the biggest issue for everyone in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah. But like I said, if you go and click on the governor's post, the majority of the comments are pro-Fleming. So,
yeah, I could imagine.
It says if one person says, if Governor Landry says turn left, people go right. So, all right, we need to take a break. We'll come back with more and break that down a little bit more. Take your calls and reaction as well right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
Are you listening to this from your Ram truck? If so, you may be eligible for Recall 67A. Complete the 1-hour software recall and get $500, plus a free extended warranty worth thousands. Visit CumminsRecall.com to learn more.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Turn up the power, Louisiana. It's back. Power up your day and play Powerball Scratch Off from the lottery. Win up to $20,000. Scratch the power. But wait, now there's even more power. The chase to $1 million is on. Drivers, start your engine. Enter the NASCAR Powerball, the Chase second chance drawings for your chance to win cash prizes. A VIP race weekend getaway trip for two to the NASCAR Championship in Miami. And a chance to cross the finish line with $1 million. Entry deadline is July 13th, 2026. Visit LouisianaLottery.com for more details. Play Powerball games from the lottery for your chance to win. Louisiana Lottery, celebrating 35 years of reasons to smile. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
All right, Alan Stephen back with you here on a Wednesday. Our last segment, we talked about the political scuffle going on between Governor Landry and State Treasurer Fleming over the issue of carbon capture. And, not the last we've heard of it, I'm sure. So let's go to the phones on the BOM Bank Talk line, 318-442-8255. Thank you for waiting. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Your last comment, Al, captured me to a T. If Jeff Landry says go left, I'm gonna go right. He really has let me down. But I was actually calling to comment on an observation Stephen made right at the beginning of your monologue, where he said that it seems like every race is framed in who Trump is for or how they relate to Trump. And I wanted to explain that. He's right. We hear it all in the commercials, but it's and it may be baffling to someone his age, but when I was his age, actually when I was younger, since my 20s, I've been following politics, and we had politicians like Jeff Landry. He is prototypical, where he sounds like something that he turns out not to be. And when Trump came along, I was initially against Trump, but he manifested himself into somebody that, like him or hate him, he is what he is. He's not going to change. And that is so refreshing. And that's why so many politicians are trying to use his endorsement or his name or their association with him. And so why so many voters use that as a touchstone, because people are so deceptive. And for so many, it gets so frustrating that a lot of people wash their hands and get out of it. Out of politics, they just quit worrying about it. They say, well, que sera, sera, whatever it be. But those of us who haven't, it's such a breath of fresh air. He's flawed. He is very flawed. Donald Trump is, not Fleming. But he's real, and he's not going to change for you. You either love him or you hate him, but he's not. He's real. And so to me, it's a breath of fresh air where I can there's some things I disagree with him on. I believe he's for carbon capture because he's for business, and it's not in his backyard. I thought that Chuck Owen had a great idea. If they really want it, pump it out into the Gulf. But anyways, there's a reason that
I think a little change would be nice. Maybe if he accepted Jesus into his heart, he'd find some more humility and act more like one. That's just
without
one thing
doubt,
that would be very nice. But we kind of ignore that part too. So.
Oh, I don't think we're ignoring it. See, you take us talking about other things as ignoring it. No, we're not ignoring it. That'd be great. That would be wonderful because he would be a big champion for it. But that's not what he's there for. If I knew him, I would try to tell him about the Lord. I don't know him. I pray that would happen. But right now, he's our president, and he's the lead politician, and he is a dividing rod. He makes people show their hand. And that is so refreshing to those of us who've been so frustrated by working to get people elected. And then when they get elected, they're the opposite of what we elected them to do. And you may have this when you get to be in your 50s or 60s. You may see this. But right now, I know it's hard. But
that's
look,
so condescending. I like you, Dave, but that's so condescending. I don't know what you mean by that. Like,
I mean
I'm
that you haven't been in the grind long enough. No, it's not intelligence. See, you're taking me wrong. You're taking it the wrong way. And I understand, but you have not had that. It's like people trying to explain what it's like to have children who haven't had children. Men or women. You can conceptualize it, but you can't really know what it's like. Look, we have had Louisiana politics, and I'm 62 years old. And until Trump came along, it was hard to tell who was who. Now it's not. Or it helps. It helps to have him. And I don't mean to be condescending. I'm not saying I'm smarter than you. I don't think I'll ever be smarter than you. But I have more experience on you. And I have more times that I've believed in people and they've burned me than you. And that gives people, that makes you either jaded or well, I am jaded, but also I'm thankful for people like Trump who will come into a room and make people show their hand. And that's why it's so refreshing. And I hope Fleming is successful. Landry, he'll never get me to vote. Anybody he chooses, I will go against. Anyway, thanks for letting me speak my piece. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Thank you for the call.
I mean, I don't really want to get into this, and I guess we're going to get into it. I just look for certain qualities in a leader, and that's just not what I look for. That's plain and simple. And I'm not saying it's ignored. I just feel like we're making excuses. A lot of Christians make excuses for it, and that's all I'm saying. I get everyone has more experience, and that's great. That's fine. But you know me, I'm not new to paying attention to politics.
Well, I think maybe there
I know
are
how they
two
act.
kinds of supporters of Trump. There are definitely those that, in their eyes, he can do no wrong. Which, I mean, you had that with Obama, too. And then there are those that see the wrong at times, but also realize the greater good and are probably a little more pragmatic in their approach to that support, saying, I don't like everything about him, but overall, I like what he's doing. And I think that's probably where I would fall in line. I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily like the way he sometimes speaks to people or speaks on social media, but overall, I like a lot of what he's doing. And
Is a Christian is just the complete opposite of what I'd expect in a leader. And that's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if he were a Christian, that would be one thing, but he's not. And I've kind of always viewed him more of kind of like a Cyrus type figure who was the Persian king that basically sent the Jews back to Israel after their captivity in Babylon. Was he a perfect man? No, but God used him for a greater purpose. And I'm hoping that for President Trump. I hope that for any president that we have, that he'd be used for a greater purpose.
But don't we understand that accepting that kind of condones it for behavior who are young and dumb like me? Like is that how we're supposed to act? And is that the model of an adult human being that we should praise and honor the way that person acts? That's what I'm concerned about too. Like it's almost being condoned, and a lot of people see that as the way you should act. That's what I'm concerned about too.
Well, I mean, you're assuming people are accepting it. Someone doesn't have to necessarily accept it, but they can still be supportive of what he's doing overall.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't act that way, hopefully. So, and I think that's where I would teach my kids to not act that way too.
I really don't want to go down the rabbit hole or whatever this is, but that's just my only concern.
I mean, it's kind of along the lines of when Charles Barkley in the 1980s or whenever it was saying, I'm not your kid's role model. Don't make me a role model. Parents should be their kids' role models. So, just because, again, someone supports a lot of what Trump is doing as president doesn't mean they're saying be like him in your personality and temperament. I don't think there will be anyone else ever like him. He's definitely a unique figure, probably one of a kind figure. But I do think he's accomplishing a lot of good when you're looking even around the world, at wars that have been stopped, countries that are being liberated from tyrannical governments, Venezuela, now looks like Cuba, hopefully Iran. I'm on board with that. I just am. So,
hey, I'm all for.
I loved Ronald Reagan. To me, like, that was a kind of character I would like to see in a president. But, you know, we've had other presidents like Bush who try to mimic Reagan and then ended being terrible disappointments.
Yeah, I pray every day that it works out. But I'm just giving my 2 cents for what it's worth. And
I didn't like him in 2015 either, but I had a young student who kind of convinced me to look at him in a different way.
Yeah, I was even dumber back then. Let me just tell you, I was the bastion of maturity because I thought it was funny, you know, and you think it's edgy.
Yeah.
But then to me now it's like, oh, this is the leader of the free world and the most important country on planet Earth.
But I think in a lot of ways what he's doing, he's calling out the BS, because where has the decorum and all of that really gotten us? We've been a sucker nation, just like with NATO. He's 100% right. We've spent trillions on NATO, and now in our moment, we're like, hey, we need your help. Oh, sorry, we can't do that. You know what?
Jesus showed kindness, humility, and still had strength and changed the world.
He's not Jesus, though.
But I'm just saying, aren't we supposed to model?
I'm not looking for that in my politicians necessarily.
I think that's a problem. That's just my opinion.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't want to talk about this. I'm sorry.
We need to take a break anyway. We'll be right back.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A new report showing a pickup in inflation is pouring ice water on earlier positivity for stocks. U.S. wholesale inflation accelerated in February, and that reflects higher costs for goods and services. And the spike in oil in March because of the war in Iran is also triggering investors. Meantime, bad news for home shoppers. Mortgage Bankers Association says mortgage rates are up to the highest level of the year heading into the big spring selling season. And don't expect any help from the Fed. It's widely expected to keep interest rates unchanged when it wraps up its big meeting later today. Probably never been a better time to buy and drink vintage wine because there's a glut. The wine bubble has burst, and investors have moved away from buying it as an asset. Prices are low. And there's a new Pepsi flavor out, Project Hail Mary, for the science fiction film that comes out this week. It's only at Regal Theaters, with Nerds gummy clusters inside the drink. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Dalton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for takeoff.
United Express flights to Houston are taking off in May from Alexandria International Airport. Reservations are now open for twice daily flights operated by SkyWest Airlines. Skip the drive. With nonstop service to Houston, you're one step closer to nearly 200 destinations worldwide. And if you're a United Mileage Plus loyalty member, you can earn miles for your flights.
Houston, we have liftoff.
Book now at flyaex.org/united. Reunited. And we're so excited.
It's tax season, and by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms to apply.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Well, good morning. We'll start out our Wednesday with mostly cloudy skies, but we'll see gradual clearing during the afternoon. 71 should do it for the afternoon high. Tonight, clear, nowhere near as cold as it has been the last couple. 46 for the overnight low. Our Thursday, a sunny day as we get close to that 80-degree mark. And this beautiful weather, got to tell you, is going to stay with us now well into next week. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Now back to Talk Back. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we are back on Talkback. 318-442-8255 is our number on the VOM Bank Talk line. And let's see, we want to keep that conversation going or
not really?
Move on to something else.
Look, I pray for the guy every day. I hope he does well.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I'd agree with some of the policy on.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I did have we could talk about this. I did have an interesting conversation. I'm not going to say any names, just you wouldn't even know who they are anyway. But two young conservative men, one in their mid-30s, one in their mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just, talking politics, and then the Iran war got brought up. And they're very upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like this is a mistake. They don't like Israel. And this is like conservative, young Christian men.
I've brought this up before. There has been a concerted propaganda effort that's going on social media to demonize Israel and Jewish people, even in America, people that are in control at the highest levels. They feel like the Epstein thing. I mean, it was
all that, yeah.
It is all.
And this person was a staunch, supporter.
Yeah.
And he goes, I wouldn't vote for him again.
Yeah.
They're very disappointed.
Yeah. But if you, this is where on Twitter, I'm reading a lot about it. And if you really look at who's kind of behind a lot of this and what the ultimate kind of end game is, I'm not surprised, because younger people are very influenced by what they're reading and seeing on social media. Just be careful. That's all I'm going to say on that. Just be careful.
Yep.
So
you do have to be, have some discernment.
And I think this is where, you hear all the time, the Iran war is not popular with the American people. I get it. Back in the early days, us going into Iraq and Afghanistan was popular. And then what did that get us? So I don't know that I'm going to base it on what the American people think, because they have a tremendous record of being wrong on a lot of things. We don't know all the things that President Trump knew before making this decision, and we still don't know what the ultimate outcome will be. I saw a graphic yesterday that showed the number of high-level Iranian officials that are now dead, and I think that's a good thing. I know the big thing being talked about is Joe Kent, who stepped down yesterday, who is the director of counterterrorism or whatever, who's mad that we basically went to war with the leading state sponsor of terror. So probably best that he did step down. But I think this is just one of these where the president has to forge through regardless of popularity polls. And hopefully the result will be something that in the end of the day, people will look at and be like, oh, okay, his instincts were right on this. And I feel like his instincts more often than not have been right on so many things.
I think that the only thing that I would say to that is, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, is that we were kind of played the whole thing that there's not going to be any new wars or conflicts. And that's where I think that's where he's getting some trouble with more of the conservative types.
Yeah, I mean, if it becomes a long, protracted war where a lot of our American troops have to go there and spill their blood on Iranian soil, it probably will be very unpopular. I don't think we're seeing that yet. Yes, we've had some casualties, and it's awful even if you lose one person. But the greater, I think, in that Trump doctrine of what he's trying to do with geopolitics right now, and more than anything, the rooting out of China's growth as a threat, I think he's playing the long game here. I really do. And this is one kind of component to all of that I think ultimately our country will be better for. But
And you got to be careful too, like you said. If you're on Twitter, you can see some like Iranian pages posting AI videos of them destroying, U.S. aircraft carriers.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the war has always been met with propaganda, but now we're seeing the technology, and the Iranians have a lot of technology. A lot of them learn their technology coming here to the U.S., and then they go back there and use that against us. So including like drone technology, and that's probably been their biggest weapon that they've been using, that and missiles. But it's quickly depleting. I'd like to see where things are another month from now. But, like I said, I also realize I could be wrong too. All right, we got some calls coming in. Let's take those. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, I understand exactly where Dave is coming from. I'm older than him. I'm 75 years old. And I have been disappointed in the majority of the politicians I've voted for. And I'll bring it to a local level. There was a guy I ran for a state representative. I thought he was one of the finest people on earth. I mean, a good old boy. Everybody loved him. He could talk. He could talk with anybody and turn him to his side. Well, I thought, sure, I enthusiastically voted for him for state representative. I thought he was going to go there and do the best he could for Louisiana. He didn't do what, what he did? He went there, got tied up with Edwin Edwards, and all he did was feather his nest in Baton Rouge. That was I figured out that was his whole goal, to go down there and get rich. And he did.
It's hard to not feel that way about most elected officials. And I'm not going to say all, because I do feel like we have several in our area that I think have the right heart and the right mind about it all. But especially when you look at what's going on in Congress, and just take the SAVE Act, for example, how this is not being overwhelmingly pushed through when it's supported by 85% of American people, Democrats included. People want election integrity. This shouldn't be that hard, but it becomes hard because you have so many monetary influences in Washington. These people are largely sellouts. They're selling us out for exactly what you said, feathering their own nests.
Well, far as Trump, I get embarrassed for Trump sometimes.
Yeah.
He sounds like an idiot sometimes, but his heart is in the right place. He wants the right thing for our country. He's got the right stance on abortion. I'll overlook a lot of his foolishness. I mean, I'd like for him to have more like the demeanor of J.D. Vance, and the same policies. But Trump is who he is. He is out for America. He wants America first. That's what more can you ask for? Now, if you want to nitpick all his little foibles, and the rude things he says and whatever, okay, that's fine. But look at all our smooth talking presidents. See, one big criticism of Trump his first term is how he was calling out all these NATO countries. They had agreed to pay a certain percentage of their gross domestic product, and they weren't doing it. Trump called them out about it. First president has guts to do it. But yeah, the mainstream media was all he's alienating our allies. Well, are they really our allies? If they're just taking advantage of us, that's all they're doing, taking advantage of it. Like I say, you see it right now. He's asking them for a little help in Iran. Oh, no, they can't be involved. They don't want to be involved. They're just getting a free ride on it. They've been using us for years and years and years. And, you had old George W. Bush, that snake in the grass. Oh, he talked nice to him. He never called him out.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your thoughts. We're going to take a break. More coming up.
KSYL.
Starting a business shouldn't feel overwhelming. At Janneyton Gulf Coast, we give you a clear, proven path to ownership. You receive guaranteed initial counts, local support, and the training you need to succeed from day one. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn steady careers into thriving businesses, and you could be next. Start your journey today at JannyKingCleans.com.
Jenny King, the king of clean.
Some smiles sound like this, while others sound this way. If you'd like to improve the way your smile sounds, the folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver. Over the years, hundreds of Central Louisiana patients have visited Today's Dental and then left completely satisfied. Their dental implant procedure is amazingly simple, low anxiety, and completely affordable. Today's technology makes your beautiful smile easier than ever. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Want your smile to sound better? Give Today's Dental a call at 318-448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 318-448-4540.
What's good for lunch? Wilmore's is good for lunch. Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express on the corner of North MacArthur and Bayou Rapides Road. Want a fresh, crisp, healthy salad? Wilmore's has them. Garden and chef salads, tuna or chicken salads. Prefer a sandwich for lunch? Then come get them hot or cold at Wilmore's. Ham, turkey, or roast beef subs, Italian, chicken, and club subs. And their hamburger is a real standout. Your good lunch is waiting at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express on North MacArthur Drive at Bayou Rapides Road.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Good morning. I'd like to address further the well site business, and particularly focusing on House Bill number 7, which has been put in with Mike Johnson as being one of the 7 authors of it. And the big deal is that the sequestration, if you want to do it, okay. If you want to get paid for it, okay. But the bill correctly disallows the expropriation of your land. That's the focus of the bill. And I sent to him saying, thanks for a well-done action to address the sequestration issue. Basic science equals sequestration equals stupid. Absolutely only a methodology because of the U.S. megadollars giveaway and foreign requirements for commerce. Not a whit of sound supportive science showing benefit from removal of CO2 from our ambient air locally. And the most stupid investment relative to worldwide air composition and quality. If a landowner wants to receive dollars for a sequestration well location and pipeline access, that's his option, but not via eminent domain. And their bill, this bill, disallows eminent domain to allow people coming on your property and overrunning it. So anyway, I thought it would be a good idea to begin to get mention made of the bill that will be, Mike said it probably will be coming up next Monday or sometime early next week. So anyway, I wanted to put those 2 cents worth in. And thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And we will be watching that, of course, see how it advances out of committee. And then once it goes to the Senate, what they try to do with it. So, yeah, but we're glad to see that it's being introduced for sure. All right. Another call. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Yeah, well, the problem with that bill is that when it
let's say it does go to the Senate, what will happen to it?
Yeah.
Well, the 7 co-sponsors can say, we tried, but what happens to it? Probably it will be either put in a committee and die, or it might even go to Mr. Landry, and he, out of the need to provide for commerce, will veto it. But we tried. That's the main cop-out I see with our Louisiana legislature over the last 60 years that I've been paying attention to it. We tried.
I understand your frustration. I think, just look at insurance last year. There were some really, really good bills that were brought by the more conservative members of the House, and including people here locally. And what happened? It gets to Senate Judiciary A, it gets gutted, watered down. Governor gets what he wants, what his turkey hunting buddies want, what the trial lawyers want. And, we're seeing some reductions for sure, but not at the level it could have been. And I think people are just sick and tired of it.
Yeah, well, I have a sneaking suspicion that Mr. Landry will, unless he moves on to the Trump administration, have some difficulty getting reelected.
Yeah, very well could be a one-term governor. I mean, we'll see what ultimately people decide to do when they vote. Question will be who would actually run against him. We'll see what happens.
Well, you ask who would run against him. Who has he been picking on?
Yeah.
The insurance commissioner?
Yeah.
He's been picking on the insurance commissioner. He's been picking on Mr. Fleming.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fleming may not become a senator, but he's got himself a base set up, and he may very well be Mr. Landry's main opponent. These things kind of work around in circles.
Yeah.
By the way, they keep talking about Soros is behind the anti-carbon sequestration. How many people in your listening audience even know who Soros is?
I mean, I would imagine that a lot of our audience probably knows who he is, but maybe I'm wrong.
And that brings up another point. I'm hearing the Soros ads, and I'm hearing the Beaver Lake ads on KPEL. Well, are they on the sister stations?
I don't know. I couldn't answer that.
Well, I think people target their ads at particular audiences.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say basically that anybody that listens to Talkback is somebody that's politically active or interested.
Yeah.
Somebody that listens to country music probably could care less.
Yeah. Probably so.
Or the minority oriented stations.
I think they care. I think they just have gotten to the point where they realize you're kind of beating your head against the wall when you care that much about it, because you're constantly frustrated and disappointment at the results. But we can't really give up, can we? Because look what the alternative would be.
Yeah, we'll catch you later. Enjoy the show.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. And we'll be right back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with no delay from certified technicians the very same day. Take advantage of our $99 drain clearing special and our 0% financing for those larger jobs. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com. The official heating and cooling provider for LSU football.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out?
Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial. All with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care. Fences that feel like home.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
All right, we're back on Talk Back. Alan, Steve with you. The other day we were talking about tongue twisters, and a friend of mine, Miss Mara, sent me an email with a bunch of tongue twisters. So let's see how these check out. Stephen, can you do this one? The six sheep's sick.
I'm not going to try that one. I think you said a cuss word there. I don't even know.
This one was said to be the toughest tongue twister in the English language. The sheep's sick. Oof, that is a tough one.
Feels like you're saying parcel tongue off Harry Potter.
I know. Shut up the shutters and sit in the shop. Shut up the shutters.
You did what in the shop?
Shut up the shutters and sit in the shop.
Wow. I can't believe you said that.
Bake big batches of bitter brown bread.
Oh.
Here's my personal favorite. She sits in her slip and sips Schlitz.
That's the one you like, I bet. Yeah. Is there a Pabst one for you?
I don't know. You know, Schlitz was actually a gigantic beer brand up until the 1970s. I read a Twitter thread about this a few weeks back. Probably find it if you just type in Schlitz in Twitter, about how stupid the company was and the person that they had brought in as like CEO, how he destroyed it. But
like the transgender Bud Light?
Yeah, kind of. Now all Budweiser's doing is wrapping themselves in Freebird. Have you noticed that?
I saw that commercial.
Yeah, all the time. It's everywhere. Crush grapes, grapes crush grapes.
That was not as good.
Let's see. Craig Quinn's quick trip to Crabtree Creek.
Back to you.
Back to you at the desk. You know New York, you need New York. You know you need unique New York.
You're doing pretty good. Giving you an A+ so far.
So far?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say. I don't have any tongue twisters.
Some of these I don't know if I can read on air.
Might say a bad word.
Yeah.
Like
if colored caterpillars could change their colors constantly, could they keep their colored coat colored properly?
It's pretty good. It's like those names that you give it like Seymour, you know what, and Mike, you know what. The names you give to your when you're ordering something, they had to yell it out loud. So
yes.
When you're a kid.
Yes.
That's what you got to be careful of.
Call for Mike.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. Classic.
I believe that was a joke used in the movie Porky's, which I wouldn't recommend to any audience today, but back in the juvenile days.
Right.
That was a biggie.
I bet. Yeah.
So today, by the way, folks, celebrate it. It's National Sloppy Joe Day. You don't find a lot of restaurants that serve Sloppy Joes.
Sloppy Joe.
There's one that does occasionally. That's Route 22 up in Grand Parish. It was a couple months ago we were there, and it was a Saturday, and they had Sloppy Joes. You got like 2 of them, along with fries, I think, for $10.
You like them?
Oof. I love Sloppy Joes.
Really?
Yeah.
They're okay.
Love them.
But you got to celebrate the day. Get you a Sloppy Joseph.
There's got to be a tongue twister in there somewhere. Sloppy Joe, like Sloppy Joes, but Joe be sloppy.
Stop by your head.
Okay. All right, Nathan and Stephen tomorrow. I'll be back with you on Friday. Have a good one.
You've been listening to Talk Back. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers.